Okay, today's short video is we're planning to do some maintenance coming up this summer here, and we're visiting one of our sites that we installed these units several years ago. These are the MUTI-V5s, the LG units, and all these units have been running 24/7, 365. The only time they shut down is when PG&E went out, and other than that they run continuously. We are looking for, we believe we were looking at our expansion valves and at one of our points, but the weather isn't ideal. It's in the 60s, and we have to put a consistent load on the system. And right now we're attached with the software to the interface. We're going to leave it on a 1 or 2 day data recording, so we can record as the rooms switch over from heat to cold. This is on the HR units, so these are the heat recovery units, and right now we have it one head in each room. These are going to 4 different rooms. They're on 6 or 8 ton units. I can't remember what the tonnage was. Each one of these are 14 tons a piece, and they're all hooked together in one piping. So that's basically what we're doing today. I think a year ago we came out here and we cleaned the fins, but really they got a little bit dirty. They were a little dirty. But one of the biggest thing was stuff like this. This stuff has to be maintained and taken down, because these little seeds and the little fuzzy things that grow on them get sucked into the units and get sucked into the coil. So if you have something like that in your area, you have to keep weeds out. So when we come back in the summer, if he doesn't get a guy to maintenance and weeds, we'll be weed whacker maintenance guys to get rid of this stuff. These are his spare units right now. These were supposed to be hooked up, but there was a problem with the contractor, and it turned into bigger issues, and it got into legal stuff. And so these units have been sitting here, and they are now donor boards. We had one board go out on a fan to drive one of the fans, and so we stole the board. I think it was, yeah, we stole the board out of this one. So as soon as he called us up, my son found out there was a board wrong. He did diagnose it, instantly ran over to one of these other units, just ripped out the board and put it in. He was off and running immediately. I do recommend, no matter whose product you buy, especially if you're in an area where you have voltage spikes, surges, transients, any kind of voltage problem. You have generators. Generators are really ugly power often, and the switching off and on, you can damage equipment. Whatever unit you buy a whole bunch of the same units or similar chassis models. So, and then buy an extra unit or two. I know this sounds ridiculous, but when you have a valued business and a lot of dollars per hour are at you know, risk of being lost, you know, paying $15,000, $20,000 for a few extra units for just having parts on hand so they could be scavenged, instead of having to wait for 24-hour emergency shipping, or like right now, shipping doesn't happen so fast because we're having that little virus lockdown thing. You might not get your parts for a week or two, or maybe your parts are coming from a country that is banned right now and has a little embargo or a tariff against it, or you know, whatever's going on right now with China. If your parts were coming from China, you might not see them for 4 or 5 or 6 weeks. So when you get equipment this big, you're in a different game, a different ballpark, and your money is so valuable per hour, you just buy extra units. So these will be put up in commission at some other time. And I don't know if you could hear the noise of the fans over me right now more than you can hear my voice through the phone. And trying to get you to see this. This is going to have to be another video dedicated on the LG MV software, but it's so bad I can't even show you the electronics expansion valves These are heat recovery units over here. These are straight heat pumps over here. Heater, cool. These are multi. They could do heating and cooling simultaneously. So every room is redundant. Every room has two heads in it. It has one head from the heat recovery unit, and it has one head from the heat pump unit in it. He has redundancy, so if one whole system ever went down, he always has an extra head in the room. There was supposed to be triple redundancy, but that never got hooked up. And then there's another, I think, 20,000 square feet of warehouse that needs to be have more units. So there's going to be like 9 or 12 more units out here, another 150 tons, but that's coming. That's at a future date. First we have to get over this contra-virus stuff and get everything going. You can see these things barely turn. If you look at their fans, if you see the fan spinning, it's actually only spinning about, I would say, not even one revolution a second, about 1/2 revolution a second. It's probably doing 30 RPMs a minute. So they're barely even moving. Very energy efficient system. I'll get back more onto this later. This is going to get hidden down in this cardboard box and have some wood put on it just in case it rains. I don't want to ruin a computer laptop. I did that once before. I learned the hard way. This gets bagged and it's going to be taped up. This is the interface module, so it could communicate with this and be left on here for 24, 48, 72 hours while we data log this whole system. Get to you on the next video.